relationship between unemployment and inflation. When inflation is higher than expected, profits rise and unemployment falls. And then vice versa, when inflation is lower than expected, profits fall and unemployment rises.
So the Phillips curve looks at the relationship between unemployment and inflation. So on our x-axis, we're going to plot unemployment. But for the Phillips curve, you can use UE for an abbreviation. On the y-axis, we're going to plot inflation, and our symbol for that is pi. There's no direct relationship between pi and inflation, but it's just a symbol to use as a reference. Because of the inverse relationship between unemployment and inflation, your line for the short-run Phillips curve is an inward curve. This can be thought of in the thought process of when inflation is higher, profit rises, decreasing unemployment, and when inflation is lower, profit decreases, raising unemployment. The long-run Phillips curve is a straight line because there's no correlation between inflation and unemployment in the long run. The natural rate of unemployment, or the NRU, is a mixture between frictional and structural unemployment. It is also the measure of resource markets and labor at equilibrium.
Point A represents full employment at equilibrium and can be shifted by inflation. Point B, which is caused by the excess of money circulating through the economy. Okay, point D represents a shift from equilibrium to a recession caused by a decrease in labor and resources, which increases unemployment.
Now let's talk about those shifting points.
So in general, a point on the short-run Phillips curve will shift to the left when the price level rises, corresponding with a rise in inflation. So it'll go from A all the way up to point B right here. So the point on the short-run Phillips curve will shift to the right when price levels fall, corresponding with a rise in unemployment. So it'll go from full employment all the way down here, which represents a recession.
The Phillips curve has an inverse relationship with the ASAD graph. Two things that can shift the short-run Phillips curve are SRAS and expected inflation. The SRPC will shift to the left when SRAS increases or when inflation expectations decrease. The vice versa.
Now let's talk about the relationship with the ASAD graph.
In general, the Phillips curve shifts in the opposite direction that the ASAD graph would. The first example shows the relationship between the two graphs in an inflationary gap. As you can see, the SRAS goes to the right when price levels decrease, and then on the whole SRPC shifting to the left due to inflation. This second example shows the relationship between the two graphs in a recessionary gap. As you can see, when the SRAS shifts to the left, price levels increase, and then on the Phillips curve, when the SRPC goes up, recession.